So this weekend, no UFC this weekend, unfortunately, but at the very least there is a event this weekend with a UFC fighter, the lineal UFC heavyweight champion versus the lineal boxing heavyweight champion in a boxing match. Francis Ngannou versus Tyson Fury is happening this weekend, and I'm not going to even sugarcoat this at all. Francis Ngannou is going to get fucking embarrassed in this fight, man. Like, this is going to just stain MMA once more. We're gonna we're gonna watch Tyson Fury play with Francis Ngannou for 10 rounds. I think this is a 10 round fight. Let me let me just check this. I mean, the rounds do not matter either way. He's going to yeah, this 10 rounds. I thought it was like it doesn't matter how many rounds this is. There'll be 3 rounds. Tyson Fury is going to embarrass Francis Ngannou. There's just no other way I see this fight going. Francis Ngannou is not a good boxer. Like, Francis Ngannou is a powerful puncher when he's wearing 4 ounce gloves. But in a kickboxing match, this was many years ago, so maybe he has got better, but on a technical scale, has he really gotten better? He couldn't knock people out in kickboxing when he was wearing the 8 ounce gloves that they use in boxing. His power was definitely diminished quite a lot. Maybe the guy who was fighting just had a granite chin. That could actually be that could actually be the case. Maybe I'm wrong here, and Tyson Fury's just going to get knocked the fuck out all over the place. But I don't think that is the case. Like I say, his punching power did seem a lot worse with them kickboxing gloves. And either way, I just don't see Francis Ngannou winning this fight, man. Tyson Fury, so much more technical. He's got the longer reach. He's younger, more experienced in boxing. He's quicker. The only thing Francis Ngannou has is power, which, having a puncher's chance is always a good thing in boxing. But I just don't see it in this fight, man. Like, what's Francis Ngannou's game plan? Tyson Fury has every single way to win this fight. He can win a decision. He could knock Francis Ngannou out. Like, he could get the DQ because Francis Ngannou doesn't know the rules of boxing. Like, there's so many avenues to victory here for Tyson Fury, while Francis Ngannou's only avenue to victory in this fight is a KO. There's no way Francis Ngannou can go out there and win 6 rounds and get a decision win over Tyson Fury. It just will not happen. I guarantee Francis Ngannou will not win a decision here. I'll be surprised if he wins more than 2 rounds. I'll say he'll probably win 1 round, and that's being very generous here, man. This fight is the definition of a mismatch. Like, this fight is more of a mismatch on paper than Tommy Fury versus KSI was. I know that turned out to be competitive, but this fight is even less competitive. I know that's crazy to say because Francis Ngannou still does have a combat sports career. He was an MMA fighter. He was the UFC champion. But the guy's also coming off knee surgery. Like, fucking, his knees were so busted up against Cyril Gane that he could not do a single thing on the feet. He couldn't land a single strike on the feet. He had to wrestle. He can't use that in this fight. He's not going to be able to go out there and wrestle Francis Ngannou. He's going to come out slow. There was videos of him hitting the pads. Mike Tyson at 58 years old, 59 years old, however old he is, maybe a bit younger than that, I'm not quite sure. He looked fucking quicker than Francis Ngannou at this point. He's slow, he's ploddy, his style of striking just will not translate to boxing well. Deontay Wilder is a quicker, faster, more technical version of Francis Ngannou, and he couldn't beat Tyson Fury. He came close, but it just wasn't enough. Maybe Francis is more durable than Wilder, but we could just see Tyson fucking put a beating on Ngannou. Like, there is like a scenario where Francis Ngannou doesn't land a single strike here. Like, he is that slow. He's not that used to the boxing angles. He's not used to the boxing technique. Like, Tyson Fury is very technical, especially for a heavyweight. He's quick. His defense is so good. I know it sounds like I'm fucking dick riding Tyson Fury here. Like, it sounds like fucking, it sounds like I need to hop off it. But like, there is just not a way I see this fight going to Francis Ngannou. He literally has every single disadvantage outside of power. He's got the worst cardio as well, by far. We've seen Francis gas out quite a lot. There is like a scenario where fucking Francis just comes out with his guard up and gets his body fucking teed off on because he's trying to like preserve energy. Maybe he waits till like the 10th round and then goes for fucking broke. But it's not gonna work here, man. He's gonna get embarrassed. It's And then, I mean, technically, you could say fucking Tyson Fury is the lineal UFC heavyweight champion. Like that is something you can actually say, even though he's never fought in MMA or the UFC. But I just don't see this going anyway well for Francis Ngannou. Like, I don't even think he's going to get a moral victory here, where you know, oh, he made it to the judges' scorecard. I think he's going to get TKO'd or knocked out. And even if he does make it to a decision, it's going to be a mercy. It's going to be because of mercy. I think Tyson Fury's going to play with him too much. If Tyson Fury takes this fight seriously, he could get Francis Ngannou out of there in like the first 3 rounds. I'm not going to shit on Ngannou's toughness. The guy is tough. We've seen Francis Ngannou take an absolute beating from Miocic in their first fight. He just got the shit kicked out of him. I know that was on the ground, but he did get teed off on the feet too. And like, he survived all the way there. He didn't quit. He stayed in the fight. He took a beating. So we do know he's pretty durable, but he's not going to be able to shoot on this fight. He's not going to get ground and pounded. It's going to be all concussive blows on the feet. I just think this is going to be really bad for Francis Ngannou, especially when he comes back to MMA. Who knows if he's going to be the same? I can see a scenario where Tyson Fury knocks him out. I can just see him fucking look. I can see this being like fucking Apollo Creed versus Ivan Drago esque. I can just see him fucking teeing off on Francis Ngannou, beating the absolute shit out of him against the ropes while he's gassed as fuck, just landing the biggest, most powerful shots on his chin. Like, this is not going to be good for Francis Ngannou's durability in this fight. I know Fury's not the most powerful guy, but he is still a big guy. He is powerful still. He's a heavyweight. He can knock people out. He knocked out Dillian White. He's knocked out a few guys. I could still see him just going in there and knocking out Ngannou after, obviously, I'm going to say after putting on a fucking career-altering beating and then maybe Mercy KOs him with like an uppercut or something. Like, I don't know. I just don't like anything I've seen out of Francis Ngannou's boxing here. He's not as big as Fury either. I think Fury's going to come in heavier. He's still going to have the better cardio though. Uh, yeah, there's just no fucking avenue to victory here. I don't think he can KO Fury with the boxing gloves. I know he's powerful, don't get me wrong. Francis Ngannou is one of the most powerful fighters. But the boxing gloves are going to make a big difference. He's still going to be powerful, don't get me wrong. It's not like he's going to come out and, oh, here comes Francis Pillow Fist Ngannou. It's not going to be like he's going to be fucking landing uppercut after uppercut on Tyson Fury, and it's going to like, damn, this guy's got pillow fist. It's not going to be any scenario like that. Don't get me wrong, but what I mean is like his power is going to be neutered. Like it's going to be neutered here. He's not going to be as powerful. He's like I say, he's not as technical. He's not even close to even being as close technically as fucking Deontay Wilder, who's known for being a wild fighter, which is ironic his last name's Wilder. But like it's crazy. Like Deontay Wilder is still way more technical than not Tyson Fury, Jesus, way more technical than Francis Ngannou. It's just, yeah, this is fucking insane, man. Like the fact this fight's happening, Francis Ngannou's making his fucking boxing debut against somebody like Tyson Fury. It's like there is no scenario where this is going to go well for Francis Ngannou's immediate health. Like, this is just going to be one of those really brutal mismatch beatings where people are going to be like, why did this fight even happen? Like, think of all the journeymen that Tyson Fury took, like, what are they called? Like, mandatory defenses against, like, was it Tom Schultz or something like that? And, he just beat the shit out of that guy, It's going to be worse than one of those. This is, like, those journeyman guys that he beat, they're still actual boxers. They've fought in boxing. They know what a boxing match is like. They know they've gone the distance in boxing. They've gone all these rounds. They know they have somewhat understanding of the footwork, the technique, the defense and everything in boxing. Francis Ngannou doesn't know any of these things. He's never fought in a professional boxing match. I know he was training to be a boxer before he got into MMA, but he was training when he was like 27 years old. You know, yeah, that's way too late. I know Wilder was like a fucking exception. He was like 22 or something like that. There is just so much in this fight that is just not on Francis Ngannou's side. He's gonna get embarrassed. You know, I'm a big MMA fan. I'm a bigger MMA fan than I am a boxing fan. But like, we just need to understand, and most people do, as MMA fans, no MMA fighter is gonna go in there and beat one of the best boxers in their prime. It's just not gonna happen. Like, it just never will happen unless like maybe some fluky scenario. It's just not gonna happen. You know, like having a puncher's chance, yeah, but like you're the only way a MMA fighter is going to beat like one of these great boxers if they catch them in when they're way past their prime, like Anthony Pettis beating Roy Jones Jr. You know, there is obviously some exceptions where like MMA fight like good MMA fighters can beat like journeyman type fighters, like Anderson Silva did beat Julius Caesar Chavez Jr. But he was never like a elite level fighter. He was just sort of like yeah, I'll say journeyman. He was a journeyman. He fought some of the best. He loses to the best, but he could beat like the average Joe sort of thing. But yeah, man, I I don't think this will go good for Francis Ngannou. I mean, it'll go good for his bank account and his financial stability. Moving forward, this is gonna be financially very good for him. Like, there's no denying that. Like, financially, Francis Ngannou, he's gonna be happy with his payday. It's gonna be a really good payday for him. He's not gonna complain with the payday, that's for sure. But I mean, like, durability wise, his hunger in the sport, like, this might be the last we see of Francis Ngannou. I know he signed a contract for the PFL, but it wouldn't surprise me if he goes in there and gets like absolutely tooled up, like brutally gets KO'd. Like, I don't know if Francis Ngannou is the type of guy who would keep fighting, especially after making all that money. Maybe he'll come back to PFL, honor the PFL contract, fight maybe one guy or something. But he could be completely different after this fight for all we know, like fighting wise. You know, like Francis Ngannou, we seen after that Stipe fight, his next fight, he didn't do a single thing against Derek Lewis. Like, mentally, this could completely ruin Francis Ngannou moving forward. Like, it would not surprise me at all, man, to see this. Like, I know I'm talking past the fight now. Like, I'm just saying, like, this could completely shake up Francis Ngannou for the rest of his career, and that's not even an exaggeration. Like, I can't say how much of a mismatch this fight is, man. Like, this is generally awful. This is going to be fucking horrible for him. It's not going to be good for his health. It's not going to be good for, like, it's just not going to be good for his future. I know people are looking short term, like, yeah, he's going to have all this money. I guess, I mean, I did say financial stability is a big thing. It probably will be good for him long term when we talk about the financial aspects, but for his health, I don't know, man. Like, this is okay. This, for example, this is like, let's say some random guy, Tyson Fury. They bring in some big athletic dude who's never boxed before. They bring him into Tyson Fury's camp. They let Fury build up some confidence against this guy for the beginning of his camp. That would be like bringing that guy into the boxing ring and fighting Fury in a professional match. Tyson Fury's going to go easy on this guy in the sparring. He's going to use him to build some confidence, though. Oh, I've still got it. All that sort of stuff is what boxers do. They'll bring in guys like that just to beat up on him a little bit. Realize, yeah, I'm the fucking man. Like every boxer does it. Everyone, even MMA fighters, they'll bring in some guy they can easily just beat up. Make them bring in that confidence before camp, make them realize they're the man. Like I said, this would be like bringing that guy in against Tyson Fury in a main event of a fucking boxing card. Like, that is literally what that is. I know that sounds like an exaggeration because Francis Ngannou is one of the baddest men on the planet. Is the lineal UFC heavyweight champion. Never lost it, even though you could argue Cyril Gane won that fight. He never lost that belt. But in boxing, Francis Ngannou is your average schmo. I know that sounds crazy to say, but Francis Ngannou is journeyman level in boxing. I know he hasn't fought yet. I know he could go in there. He could completely prove me wrong, and I sort of do want him to go in there and give Tyson Fury a competitive fight. Like, I do want to see that. I just don't see it happening. And like I say, he is just like the average journeyman in there for boxing level. He's not technical. We know he's not technical. I know he's been training with Mike Tyson, and all the comments are like, "Ooh, he's training with Mike Tyson. He might go in there. He might prove something wrong." Just because Mike Tyson was one of the baddest men on the planet himself, one of the best. I'm not going to say he was the greatest heavyweight or anything like that. I do think there were fighters above him, but he was one of the scariest men on the planet. He was a really good boxer back in his day, one of the best boxers at one point. He was the world champion. He knocked out Larry Holmes, but it just, you know, being a good fighter and training someone does not always translate to that fighter like going in there and killing everyone. You'll find some of the best coaches were guys with like 20-7 records, or not horrible records, but not the greatest. You'll find some of the best boxing trainers are not well-known boxers. They're fighters that were probably fighting on undercards of all these big fighters, or the prelims, or fighting in shows in Mexico against like journeymen. They're the guys who actually go on to be the best coaches. I don't know what it is. It's even in MMA. The best coaches, the best boxing coaches, all turn out to be the guys who didn't really go on to achieve, the greatest level of success in boxing or MMA. They weren't the guys who went on to be world champions or fighting in the glamour divisions or the glamour organizations. Maybe it is just a thing where these guys are better at teaching than fighting, and maybe the guys who were really good fighters don't have it in them to go and teach. Maybe they just still want to chase that glory. That is a possibility here. I know this is like a bit of a rant on this point here, but like I say, there's just because he's training with Mike Tyson does not mean he's going to turn into Mike Tyson. If he goes out there with the Mike Tyson style, the rope a dope, fucking go in there, moving all over the place, bobbing and weaving. You know what's going to happen, right? He's going to fucking gas out. Like he is. He's not used to that style. We've never seen him do that in MMA. If he goes out there with his hands high, fucking rope a doping all over the place, fucking. It's not even rope a dope, is it? It's fucking. I look like such an idiot right now. Not the rope-a-dope, sorry. I meant the peekaboo style. If he goes out there with the peekaboo style, yeah, they fucking hell. Francis Ngannou will definitely not go out there trying to be Muhammad Ali with the rope-a-dope. Sorry, I meant the peekaboo style. If Francis Ngannou goes out with the peekaboo style in that fight, he's going to gas out so badly. He's going to be moving all over the place, trying to unleash fucking hammers and, all for all these big combos and everything. He is going to gas out so quickly if he does that. Like, generally, he will gas out so fucking badly if he goes and pickaboos his way through that fight. Like, training with Mike Tyson might be one of the worst guys he could train with, honestly, because if he cannot replicate that style. I know Tyson Fury's taller than Francis Ngannou, but Francis Ngannou is still like 6'4", 6'5". He's not a 5'10" guy fighting a guy like fucking 10 inches taller than him. Like, fucking Mike Tyson was fighting guys who were like so much fucking taller than him, like almost a foot taller. If he goes in there with that same style, he's gonna fucking gas out. He's gonna get caught with uppercuts. Like, he's not gonna be used to that style. He's gonna come out looking amateurish, coming out with a peekaboo style. He's gonna come out bobbing and weaving his head, and then boom, uppercutted. He's gonna get uppercutted. Probably do it again. Get uppercutted again. He's gonna get fucking rocked against the ropes. Tyson Fury's just gonna keep unloading on him. He's gonna fucking pitter patter his body. He's gonna fucking land punch after punch on fucking Ngannou's face. Probably gonna fucking hump Ngannou. He's gonna mock him. He's gonna pretend to lick his neck or something. Ngannou's gonna try and clinch him. And Tyson's just going to mock him. He's going to whisper things into his ear. He's going to say, "How big's your Corey now?" Something like that, Like, this is just going to be so embarrassing for Francis Ngannou. Like, generally, I can't emphasize enough, this is going to be such an embarrassing fucking performance from Francis Ngannou, man. Like, I want MMA to not look shit every time these matchups happen, but he's going to get embarrassed in there. He's going to be so slow. His knee is not fully recovered. I don't believe it. I don't even know if he'll be the same fighter after his knee was that busted up. He's going to come out slow. He's going to try and wing overhands probably. He's going to try and pick-a-boo and get caught. Like, this is just going to be an awful, awful matchup. But I hope I'm wrong. Hopefully we get like a fucking war out of this. Hopefully MMA has a good showing here. I don't think there's any way Francis Ngannou can actually win this fight. I think the only way he wins is a moral victory where maybe he knocks Fury down, or he wins a couple rounds and makes it somewhat competitive. But even then, man, there's just no way he's going to win this. And even then, Fury's got the boxing advantage where if it is a competitive fight, it still will go to Tyson Fury on the scorecards. So, because yeah, boxing do not want this MMA guy to come in there and beat Tyson Fury, which I don't think would happen either way. This is a mismatch. It's gonna look really bad. It's gonna fucking be another stain on this sport I love. But at least there's something to watch, I guess. But yeah, I like freak shows, but this is gonna be brutal, man. I'm praying that Francis Ngannou is gonna be alright after this fight. Like I say, I know Tyson Fury's not the biggest power puncher, but with them gloves, with the padding and everything, he's still a hard hitter. He is a fucking big guy for boxing. He's knocked a lot of guys down. He did knock out Deontay Wilder. It's just it's not going to be a good look, man. This is not going to be a good look at all for Francis Ngannou. I could just see him getting fucking Apollo Creeded in this fight. Like this is going to be a fucking Ivan Drago Apollo Creed type situation, man. And I don't want that. Obviously, I don't wish ill will towards Francis Ngannou. I just don't think this fight's going to be competitive. Like nobody's gonna like break down this fight and go, shit, man, Francis Ngannou, I think he's got a real good shot here. Like, no, you're watching him in MMA fucking swing like an idiot with his chin out. It's just not gonna work in a boxing. It's not gonna work in a boxing ring. It won't. It just won't. Maybe I'm saying this so much I'm gonna jinx it. Maybe I dare the MMA gods, the boxing gods to jinx this. Jinx this right now. I dare you. I double fucking triple fucking quadruple motherfucking dare you to make Francis Ngannou go in there and KO Tyson Fury. I dare you, MMA gods. I dare you, boxing gods. I dare you, the combat sports gods, to fucking go in there and do it. But it's not gonna happen. It is not. There is absolutely no way Francis Ngannou wins this fight. No shot. Absolutely no shot. I am fucking. I'm telling you, there is no shot. I've ranted. I've raved. I've broke this fight down. I've watched all the tape I could find on Francis Ngannou with the fucking 8-ounce gloves. There's just absolutely no way this fight's going to be a W for Francis Ngannou. The best he can hope for is like a DQ win, but I don't think Tyson Fury is going to go out there and get DQ'd. So yeah, I don't know. I just think that it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how Francis Ngannou approaches this fight. Like I say, maybe he's going to come with the perfect game plan here and somehow he's going to eke out a victory. I don't see it though, obviously. I just don't think there's any way for him to win a decision. Knockout's his best shot. Tyson Fury's tough. He's durable. Getting knocked down by Wilder is very like the fact he gets up from Wilder just says a lot because Wilder is such a powerful man. I'd say he's more powerful than Francis Ngannou. He's pound for pound more powerful. He weighs less than Ngannou, and he's knocking these guys out like how Ngannou does. But so maybe Francis Ngannou hits harder because he weighs more, but he's so much slower than Wilder. Not as technical. I wish this was Wilder versus uh, Ngannou, if I'm being honest. I feel like that is a more competitive fight. Wilder's not the most durable guy. Ngannou is durable, both powerful. Like that probably was Francis Ngannou's best shot at getting a win against one of these big names in boxing. This is like his hardest stylistic matchup, I feel like, out of all the big boxing heavyweights, just because Fury's bigger than him, he's a better boxer than him by far. Like all the other ones are better boxers by far too, don't get me wrong, but he's durable, he's powerful, he can put on a pace, good cardio. Like out of all of them, like Anthony Joshua is still a really horrible matchup for Ngannou, but maybe he could catch Joshua, you never know, but this is horrible stylistically for him. I think I don't even know what the rest of this card is, man. They have not promoted this card at all either, I'm gonna mention. Like generally, I think fucking is Joshua Parker on here? I'm pretty sure Parker's on here. Might be wrong. Fuck, did I say Joshua Parker? Fucking hell, I meant Joseph Parker, my bad. I think Joseph Parker's on here. If I'm remembering correctly. I forgot who he's fighting. Maybe not. Like I don't even know what is even on this card. I do not know. They were meant to put like some crazy fights on there, but it just never ended up happening. Like this card's been promoted horribly. That's another thing I want to mention. I feel like this is really going to backfire. Like, I feel like there is like this is not going to end up looking good for Francis Ngannou's bargaining power. But I don't know. I guess we'll see. But if Francis Ngannou really believes he's going to win, all power to him. You know, he should believe in himself in this fight. It's not going to go his way, and I'm certain on that. Let me think. Is there anything else I need to mention about this specific matchup? Let me check who. Let me find the card for this. I need to find like. There, let me see. Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou undercard in full. Joseph Parker returns. Future of boxing and Brit champion future. Let's see. Apparently, he's fighting Canadian Simon Keane. And meanwhile, the so-called future of heavyweight boxing, Moses Itoma, will make an appearance on the undercard. He's 5-0. His opponent is yet to be confirmed. Okay, so the main event is Tyson Fury versus Ngannou, David Adali versus Fabio Wadley, Joseph Parker versus Simon Keane, Martin Bakoli versus Carlos Takam, Alsanbek Makamudov versus Agron Samaki, Moses Itomoni versus TBC. So I don't even have who this guy's fighting, and the card is this weekend, and this was posted 2 days ago. This is fucking $79? Who would pay $79 for this shit? $80 pretty much. Let's just say $80. Who would pay for this pile of shit for $80, man? For a fucking mismatch. See, this is, oh my god, man. Like, who the fuck do they think they are? I get it's Tyson Fury, but it's such a mismatch. But I guess, how much did Fury versus Tom fucking Schultz do? Was that his name? Tom. I swear his name was like Tom Schultz, wasn't it? Or was it Tom Schwartz? What did I think it was? Fucking Schwartz. Schwartz. Let's see. Was that even a pay per view? Because if that did big. I mean, Fury versus Chisora Free made more than 500 pay per views, and that was a fucking mismatch. So, I don't know. Who knows? I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe Francis Ngannou can go out there and put on a better performance than Derek Chisora at this stage in his career. That's probably the best he can get out of this. Is he did better than Derek Chisora did in that third fight that nobody asked for. But yeah, that's all I've got to say about this, man. This is not going to be pretty. This is not going to be a pretty fight. I mean, legitimately, Francis Ngannou cannot fight pretty out there. He has to go out there fucking fighting dirty. But even then, like I say, if he does the peekaboo style, he's gonna get fucking flatline KO probably. But at the very least, at least this is just a little warm up. It doesn't hurt anybody. Well, I mean, it's gonna hurt Francis Ngannou because he's gonna get a fucking career altering beating. But outside of that, it should be a good little show. I can't hate on it. I like freak shows, but and I guess it keeps Tyson Fury a little bit busy just before he goes in and fights Alexander Usyk. That is the fight we all want. Even I want that fight. I really want to see that fight. Like I say, I'm a boxing casual. I do watch boxing though. It's fighting at the end of the day. I hate the people who say, it's not even a real fight. Like, yes, it's a real fight. Most fights in the streets is going to be boxing. Especially when you're fighting at school and there's like, people are gonna be like they're backing their mates up. You can't just go on ground and pound people or put them in fucking chokeholds or anything like that. Like in street fights, especially if you're fighting someone and they're with a group of friends or something like that, you cannot go in there and fucking slam them and choke them out or use your wrestling or anything like that. Like in street fighting scenarios, you're always going to have to use the hands. Like that's just, you can kick too, obviously. You can kickbox or whatever, but it's still a real fight. Obviously there is rules to it and everything, but you got to think about in street fighting scenarios, there's unwritten rules in there as well. And also, also there's like life or death rules where you don't want to go and fucking take this guy down and go for like a top mount and get booted in the head. I know this just talked to a whole debate about if boxing is real fighting or not, but yes, it is real fighting. It's quite clearly real fighting. All combat sports, kickboxing, MMA, bare knuckle, left way, Muay Thai, even like jiu-jitsu to an extent. They're all real fights. You know, all of them are fighting. Fighting, it's just MMA is the only one that utilizes all fighting. All of it's fighting. I know this turned into a little debate at the end here, but yeah, I hate people who say it's not real fighting. But yeah, man, like at the end of the day, boxing, it's a real fight. But still, we'll see what happens here. Maybe Francis Ngannou will go in there, prove me wrong. Who knows? I don't think it's going to happen though. Like I say, I know I've said it about 6 times this video. It's going to be a mismatch. There's just no way. Absolutely no way. Take it to the bank. Fucking bet the house on it. Francis Ngannou is not going to win this fight. He just isn't. It's not going to happen. Mismatch. But yeah, that's really all I've got to say. I know this was a long video. Maybe I got a little passionate about it. I'm gonna sound like such a Francis Ngannou hater though. When for the people who watch this video, I'm not a Francis Ngannou hater here. Trust me. I'm just being realistic, especially as an MMA fan, like a big time hardcore MMA fan. I just got to be realistic. When one of our guys goes in the boxing ring, it's never gonna go well. And then when you put in a guy who's not even technical for MMA standards. He's not technical for MMA standards. He fucking has a right hand and a half on him, though. He's a powerful man. Don't get me wrong. You can knock out some of the best strikers just because of that power, but he's not even technical for MMA standards. For heavyweight MMA standards, heavyweight MMA known for being the least technical. It's just got big fucking fat guys and muscly guys who sling fucking hammers. He's not even technical for those standards. And then you got him going in there against one of the most technical heavyweight boxers. It's just like I say, it's a recipe for a disaster. I think it's going to be a disaster in there, man. Like this is just not going to be a good look. But at the end of the day, we'll see what happens here. I also think Fury's probably in his head a little bit. He's played a few games with him, just made him look like a joke. Maybe it's going to motivate Francis Ngannou to go in there and knock him out. But booking the Usyk fight and everything as well seems like a mental game as well against Ngannou. Just saying that he doesn't think Ngannou's a threat. Like we all know, Francis Ngannou's got a bit of an ego. That's going to hurt his ego a little bit, but it could motivate him. Don't get me wrong. That could be a motivating factor, but like I say, I just don't see this going well. But anyway, I've repeated that enough. I've said that I don't see this going well enough. I think if you made it this far into the video, you just know I didn't, I don't have this going well for Francis Ngannou at all. I think that's all that needs to be said here. Sorry I rambled a little bit on here. I know this was a bit of a longer video than anyone was probably expecting for a Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou breakdown, sorry, but it is what it is. But yeah, I appreciate if you made it this far into the video. I would appreciate if you could give it a like. Obviously, a lot went into this video. The fact that I was talking for this long. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the Francis Ngannou versus Tyson Fury matchup in the comment section below. Let me know who you got winning this weekend. Let me know if you got Francis Ngannou pulling off, in my opinion, what would be one of the biggest upsets in boxing history. Like this is like there's no way there's a bigger boxing upset here, man. Like this would be up there for some of the big. Like this is bigger than Mike Tyson versus Buster Douglas, in my opinion. Buster Douglas was at least a boxer. He wasn't making his debut. Like this would have surely this would be up there with one of the biggest upsets in boxing history. Like if this Francis Ngannou was to go in there and win, but I just don't see it happening. I just can't logically. I just can't think about this matchup and see a scenario where Francis Ngannou goes in there, pulls off a masterclass on Tyson Fury. It's just not a optional scenario in my mind. Maybe my mind's wrong, but when I close my eyes, I manifest this fight. I picture it a little bit. I just see fucking Francis Ngannou against the ropes getting teed off on by Tyson Fury. Like, yeah, there's just no other way I have it. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Maybe you guys have this fight going completely different to me. If that's the case, that's all good. I want to hear how people think Francis Ngannou can get this one done. I just don't see there being a scenario where that happens. I can't picture it in my head, Francis Ngannou going in there winning. I know he's a powerful man, but he's not a boxer. The boxing gloves are going to neuter his power. It's just, there's no scenario I see where Francis Ngannou even makes this competitive. I hope he goes in there, proves me wrong. I've said it multiple times. That's all that has to be said about this matchup. Like I said, if you made it this far into the video, please let me know your thoughts. And if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. I know this was a long one, trust me, I do. But at the end of the day, hey, you get to know my entire fucking thoughts on this matchup. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.